Welcome to the next part of the How I Met My Sister story, the longer version. So, in the last video, we ended with a huge fight at dinner, and my sister was very upset. I wished she would just go along with it, because that's what we did. That's what I did. And I remember shortly after, an article did come out that said, reunited, and it feels so good. And in that article was a picture of my mom and my sister. And it said, after 27 years, mom and daughter reunite. After receiving an email on Mother's Day, Luann and Vicky have reunited. And it definitely was saying that it was their first time meeting. Now this is where things get even more complicated. I did see my sister after reuniting with her at 14 a couple times, but we really started to get closer when I moved to Vancouver when I was 20. And when I moved to Vancouver when I was 20, she was the first person I felt safe enough to open up to about my mom and the strange ways my mom behaved and this duality of the public persona and the private persona. That day where the press came always stuck with me, and it showed me that my sister knew what I knew. And she knew that my mom wasn't the woman that everybody else believed she was. And that she made her children do things that her children didn't always feel comfortable doing. This was something I had been doing my whole life. And to be honest, it wasn't something my brothers and I ever discussed. And Vicky and I hadn't discussed it either, but I now knew at 20 that I could feel safe opening up to her about the things that I suspected when it came to my mom and the truth. And so my sister and I started to talk, and we became closer. And she told me so many things that completely rocked my world and made a lot of things that didn't make sense for the first time in my life. One of the things that she told me was that when my mom publicly stated that my sister was born of a date rape, that was not the story she was told. When I asked her to tell me more about that, she did. I also want to note that when my sister told me that she didn't believe that was the truth, I actually already agreed, because a couple times when my mom had had too much to drink, she had told me romantic stories about herself and Vicky's father. I remember she had told me that the song Once, Twice, Three Times a Lady, I believe that's Richie. Can't think of his name right now, but anyways, she told me that Vicky's father used to sing that to her. She'd also tell me, just about romantic moments between herself and Vicky's dad. But then she would say that it was like a one-time date rape. And my mom's stories around things would change all the time. So when my sister, Vicky, told me, I don't think this is true, and I asked her why, this is what she told me. She told me that one day, when she was in about 4th grade, a woman showed up to her elementary school. And this woman came to her classroom. And this woman had blonde hair. This woman looked like a real-life Barbie doll. She was dressed in beautiful clothes. And my sister said that when this woman entered her classroom, she felt like something come over her, like she couldn't explain what it was. She just felt some sort of energy in the room. And the school told the classroom that this woman was there to see life through the eyes of a child, and this woman was an author. Now, I digress a little bit, but remember this moment in time where this woman is showing up to this school, because it's extremely important what is happening at this moment in time. Now, back to the story. So, this woman wants to see life through the eyes of a child, and this woman picks my sister, Vicky. And Vicky is so happy because this woman is so pretty and she is so cool, and all of the kids wanted to be picked. This woman is named Michelle, by the way, and she spends a few weeks with Vicky, getting to know her, asking her questions, learning about her childhood, learning about who Vicky is. And at the end of this couple weeks, Michelle, the author, whips out a picture. And in this picture is a baby, and the baby is being held. And Michelle says, "Vicky, I am your birth mother. I love you. I want you to know that you were born of love, and I live in California." My sister at this point lived in Weyburn, Saskatchewan, which is like very rural, very small, not glamorous like California. And Michelle, who, if you didn't figure it out by now, is actually my mom, invited my sister Vicky to move back to California with her. My sister was about 11. And Michelle said, "Please don't tell your parents that you met me." Now, this was a closed adoption, so this was not kosher at all. This is not allowed to happen. And this 11-year-old girl, my sister, is freaking out because I think on the one hand, from what she told me, she's like excited because this really cool, beautiful woman is her birth mom. On the other hand, she's confused because she has this other family that's been raising her, and now she's been told to keep this secret. I can't even imagine what that moment must have been like for my sister. I can't even imagine putting a child through that. It's just so unacceptable, really. And so my sister told me that she did go home and tell her parents that her birth mom showed up to her school. And as you can imagine, her adoptive family was not okay with it. So my sister ended up spending her 12th birthday in hiding from my mom. And eventually, my mom got in touch with my sister's family, and from what I understand, basically threatened them and said, "I want my daughter back." And at this time, my mom had money, and my sister's family, I'm not saying they didn't have money, but they didn't have the means that my mom had at that time. Which again, in other story times, I'm going to really get into the money and what my mom had. But yeah, so with the threats, with everything, eventually my mom got her way. But what's even crazier is what happened once my sister officially moved back into our home in California.